Do you believe you can fly? Do you long to break free and soar above old problems and struggles? Hi, I'm Pamela Hale, and welcome to my home office outside Tucson, Arizona. The name of my business is Through a Different Lens, and I work as a life coach with a unique toolbox that contains ancient tools and practices and contemporary ones for healing and transformation. One of my favorite metaphors is flight. What a powerful metaphor that is. I'll bet even if you're terrified of stepping into an airliner, I bet you've dreamed of soaring above some of those old stories that used to keep you on the ground like gravity. Well, I've written a book called Flying Lessons: How to Be the Pilot of Your Own Life. And in it I tell 7 teaching stories about my experiences getting my private pilot's license in my late 50s. An experience which, believe me, brought up every fear I ever knew I had and a whole galaxy that I had no clue were waiting so close to the surface. Fortunately, my wise flight instructor Cleo helped me fly past those fears so that I could choose 7 of my flying lessons and make them lessons for my life. And hopefully now there'll be lessons for your life too. So today I'd like to tell you a story about flying lesson number 2, bring enough fuel for the journey. This is a story about how selecting your premium fuel can determine whether you crash or whether you soar. So come on inside my office. I'm going to tell you a story about a client named Lisa, an accomplished pilot of life, a physician, a mother, a grandmother, a brilliant teacher, a beautiful, lively woman. But when she came to me as a client about 5 years ago, Lisa was flying on empty, in danger of crashing. She had just had a brutal surgery for her 3rd round of colon cancer. And I pictured her energy as this little white feather on the wind, so fragile, and had an image of her dying while we were working together and felt a momentary terror. And then I remembered that my job was to help her see her situation through a different lens that might reveal a new path of possibility. Well, it was easy to observe that Lisa was panicked about her flight on Earth ending way too early. And as a 2-time cancer survivor myself, I could empathize. But the thing is, the energy of fear was now driving her. It had become her fuel. And that fuel was only going to take her one place, was into a deadly tailspin. Well, fortunately, my work does not require me to have all the answers. And so I acted as listener and facilitator for Lisa's finding her higher self and connecting with her deeper wisdom. And we consulted the powers of the universe for help. And I went into that wonderful meditative state where we all have access to collective wisdom and asked for help to find the kind of fuel that Lisa really needed most. It was clear that Lisa was going to have to do the very kind of work that she wanted to do the least. And that was forming a friendly relationship with death. Accepting the fact that death, after all, is the only thing that we can predict about our lives, right? Now Lisa began to remember that one advantage of having death in our lives is that the awareness of it brings the preciousness of life very close to us. And so she began to shift her view of her situation. A lot was not in her control. But one thing that was in her control was what kind of fuel she would take in. So no more sipping from the cup of fear. Now her homework would be to stalk beauty, to gorge herself on joy. Of course, she would still feel fear, but fear wouldn't have to keep her on the ground. She could soar without having to leave the earth. So cancer, like any challenge, brings some gifts along with it. And I am so happy to report that Lisa is so fit and healthy today. She is a wonderful role model for rising above negativity and fear. She does it better than anyone I know. She is a true pilot of life. So here's what I invite you to take away from this story. If you want to be the pilot of your own life, this means selecting the premium fuel that's truly going to propel you on your journey. So is that going to be fear? Or is it going to be joy? Is that going to be constriction? Or are you going to spread those wings? So I invite you to do a little experiment in the next few days. See if you can catch yourself in those small moments of choice where maybe out of habit you start to choose fear. And then you wake up and you think, there's a choice here. Is it going to be fear or is it going to be joy? Is it going to be fear or is it going to be life? And when you choose life and you inhale your fuel, be conscious that you are choosing that which truly nourishes you, and be glad. So then the next step would be to try anchoring that choice, that energy, into every cell of your body. And here's a tool you can use to do that. Try wiggling your wings. You can do it even in the checkout line. Just be subtle about it. And maybe in doing that you'll feel a little lighter. Maybe you'll feel that you have defied gravity in some way. So try it. Spread your wings and say to yourself, I can fly.